What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Bart back with yet another deck tech, showcasing one of my decks. This particular deck tech is going to be focused on my Tasigur, the Golden Fang deck. I'm excited to share another deck tech with y'all, so let's get into it. Our commander this time around is Tasigur, the Golden Fang. He's a 6-mana 4/5 with the following abilities. Delve, which means each card that we exile from our graveyard while casting the spell pays for 1 generic mana. This helps pay commander tax and get Tasigur out early so we can have the advantage of his second ability. The second ability is 2 generic and 2 hybrid Simic. Mill 2 cards, and then return the non-land card of an opponent's choice from the graveyard to our hand. This is a great source of recursion for our deck, and it also gives our opponent something to do. We play our powerful cards and use this ability to get back a card in which our opponent sees as a non-threat. Since we have our commander's abilities in mind, let's go ahead and go over our gameplay loop. Our gameplay loop this time is to ramp early and often while controlling the board with a plethora of effects to stall our opponents until we can win the game, typically through combat damage. My goal for this deck is to play it as a mid-range deck. For those who don't know, a mid-range deck is an archetype between aggro and control that focuses on the best of those archetypes to provide a controlling yet aggressive style of play. Like always, let's get into our veggies to make the deck flow. Let's get started with ramp. So here in our ramp package, we have a surplus of sources. This is on purpose. Either our ramp spells comes back to us with Tasigur's activated ability, or we delve them away after they've been used for an early Tasigur. Some of the notable includes are going to be Explore, Open the Way, Skyshroud Plane, and Interest Restoration. These of course are cards I'm running in addition to the typical suite of Farseek, Nature's Lore, Rampant Growth, and Cultivate. I'm at a total of 36 lands with 4 NDFCs with a total of 11 ramp sources. This makes for a very comfortable mana base. Let's go into card draw next. Card draw is a pretty sweet package. I'm playing one of my favorite cards, Contaminated Drink, which allows us to draw cards and gives us rag counters to mill some juicy cards into our graveyard to either delve away or get back with Tasigur's ability. With all the ramp, Tasigur is a very sweet card here, and to add to the control aspect, we have Talion, the Kindly Lord, Polyrod Prodigy, to draw cards whenever our opponents cast spells. Up the Beanstalk draws us cards for casting our commander, as well as our big spells, keeping our hand full when we continually play threats. Speaking of threats though, Nezahal Primal Tide is a great source of ramps that comes back with its activated ability. I have a total of 12 card draw sources so we can keep our hand full. Lastly, let's go into removal. So our removal package, we have a ton of single target removal and some interaction with the stack and a couple of sweepers. The sweepers at our disposal this time around are going to be Cyclonic Rift and Toxic Deluge. Both of these are solid since they're like secret modal spells that gives us the option of how we want to remove our opponent's board. Our single target removal, we have Deadly Rollick, Fail the Profane, Sink in the Stupor, Assassin's Trophy, and Snuff Out. And then for stack interaction, we're running both Mana Drain and Fierce Guardianship. These give us a couple of options to protect our boards and interact with our opponents. With the veggies out of the way, let's get into the spice. Our first spice pick is going to be Flotsam the Jetsam. This is a sweet spell that happens to be multifaceted. Flotsam can enable up to early Tasigur, while Jetsam can provide us with some serious value from our opponent's decks. Both halves are always relevant in the deck, which gives us some power in this card slot. I think my favorite thing about Flotsam is that we mill the 3 cards and then typically we just have enough mana to go ahead and go into Tasigur. My next spike pick is actually another dual face card. This time around it's a room. Walk-in Closet and Forgotten Cellar. Walk-in Closet helps us hit lane drops, while Forgotten Cellar is a late game house giving us access to our graveyard again. This is a newer card, however, and it hasn't been play tested as much, but I'm excited to see the benefits of playing it. Last spice pick is a Bird of Proof classic. Primeval Bounty is one of my favorite cards, and is the perfect card to give us value here. It's expensive at 6 mana, but we ramp a ton and we'll be able to make use of all modes for the card. It makes creatures. It adds counters. It even gains life. I love this card and I love to see it draw. So as always, I have a rubric to tell you how I feel about the deck. So S means I love the deck and its gameplay loop, and I love the cards that have solidified their place. A means I love the deck and the gameplay loop, but the cards can be swapped out to make for improvements. B means I love the idea of the deck, but the gameplay loop is a little bit unfamiliar due to a lack of games. And C means I am mid on the deck, and the gameplay loop hasn't excited me for a while. So with the rubric in mind, initially I definitely had Tasigur an A, but as I play it more and more, I think this is going to be our first S on the channel. I think a lot of the cards in place have definitely solidified and have their purposes in the deck, and overall we're just looking to make minor improvements, not to the point where I would give it an A grade though. I'm actually thinking of foiling this deck out personally. Well, that's it for my Tasigur the Golden Fang deck. Subscribe for more content, and let me know what you think of this one in the comments. Take care.